Right, I think we're going to make a start. We're going to start to talk about this subject today. My name's Henry Burns. I'm a psychic medium. I've worked as a psychic medium for many, many years now, both here and also in other countries, England and Australia and America. And I was talking to somebody the other day from Dubai, which is very easy these days with internet connections and so on. The subject that we want to talk today is what is a mediumship? What is mediumship? What are mediums? What do they do? So mediumship is the receipt of information from sources other than the normal sources. It's not available through normal senses. So we are tuning in to a different sense or a different way of connecting, really. Mediums serve as a channel for the communication between the living, earth people, and the dead, or I prefer to be saying the people that have passed. So they also are able to heal things as well. So medium is the communication. So we're the telephone, if you like, between the operator, so to speak, between the spirit world, the dead people, and also connecting them back with the spirit, with the human people, the earth people. Mediums are called different things. They're described in a different way sometimes. They sometimes are described as mediums, sometimes as guides, sometimes as witches. This person's a witch, but they're not a bad witch, but a white witch. Sometimes they're described as mystics. Often you hear people say, well, I'm a channel. I channel for spirit. I channel between the spirit world and the earth world. Fortune tellers, people that read tea leaves are often described as mediums because they're giving you messages from those loved ones or those people that have since passed on. They're described often as seers. A seer is a higher prophet. Priests, sometimes they call themselves the medium, the connection, as well. So they're known by different things, but essentially it's the person who connects the spirit world with the earth world. And when a medium works, they can work in different ways. Some work in the physical sense, of physical mediumship. There's also mental mediumship, trance mediumship. These are all different divisions, if you like, or actions or work that mediums work under. So some people are physical mediums. These are the people that can practice or attract or prove through levitation or table tilting, they used to call it in the old days, or rapping. You hear someone, I hear a knock from the spirit world. So they're the physical mediums. They do these things in a physical way. The most popular would be the mental mediumship. And mental mediumship is essentially a medium connecting at a very in a very reverent sort of way with the spirit, and this connection can also then be broken down in several different ways. In other words, somebody dealing with mental mediumship can be clairvoyant. Clair, by the way, is French for seeing. it's a term, it's a French term which means to see, to visualize. Clairvoyance is clair-seeing, so people actually see the spirit or sense the spirit around the person. So it's the ability, it's a not physical presence, but it's the essence of the energy that they are seeing. So they see a father or a son or a mother or a daughter or animals, pets, whatever it is. It's in their mind's eye, it's their visualization. Clairaudience is another way under mental mediumship you can connect, and that is by clairaudience is clair hearing. So we're hearing the sound, or we're hearing names, or we're hearing comments, and so it can be done that way. So that clear hearing is when you are getting messages about from a certain person and to a certain person, and you can do that by like listening to what is being conveyed. Often a spirit will come through and give a message or a name or perhaps describe something that is verifiable from the person who is sitting with the the medium. Clear sentience is the feeling. This is picking up very much on the aura, the energy. It's a condition that the medium feels that there's an energy, or feels that there's a physical problem with the person before they died. So they're feeling discomfort in a particular area which the person passed from this earth back to the spirit world. So it could be a heart attack, it could be they feel a pain in their lower abdomen, something like this, or it could be something to do with the brain, the head, or I've got a terrible headache, or I feel the headache coming on. So that could indicate the way that the person actually passed into the spirit world. Clear alliance is the smell. So sometimes this can happen when the spirit world, for example, may have been a heavy smoker, or a pipe smoker, or had a particular smell, perhaps it was from a farming background, and was the smell of silage perhaps, and you will get this sense of smell, this sense of clear smelling. Sometimes, not always, but sometimes it comes through the taste. All of a sudden you start to feel, a medium can start to feel a bitter taste, like they're lemons or something rather strange, or you might feel a taste of a banana or something. And this is the spirit that is trying to indicate or show that this had a significance. It's a sign of the significance that this person liked bananas or liked lemons, or conversely didn't like them. So this is another way where the spirit can communicate through the medium to the sitter, to the inquirer, to the person who's actually sitting in, looking for the information or the proof really, that there's a life after this one. Hello, Sharon. Hello, Sharon Bailey. How are you? Thanks for coming on. There's also clear ordinance, which is actually just a knowing. It's just an intuition. It's just a knowing. You can't really change what it is that you feel. about this particular person. It's a sense, if you like. And some mediums will use all of these in their mental mediumship, in their connection with the spirit or the guide or the person that they want to connect with or communicate with. I find sometimes that when I was doing a mediumship reading there a few days ago for a gentleman, and his mother had passed. And the connection was very, very strong, because the love and the connection between this son and his mother was extremely strong. And he's still in a state of some sadness. But what a medium is supposed to do, and what he should be, he or she should be doing, is giving the person enough proof that the person that has come to speak to them is the person that they are. So what a medium is looking for, a number of things, is first of all, who is this person that's come to communicate or give a direction to. So is it male or female? Is it related? And we want to know as much as we can about them that proves to the sitter that it is them. In other words, we're looking for something distinctive about them. So they may have a tattoo, they may have a particular... Okay, all right, Imelda, I'll get back to you. I just had a message there from a lady who wants an appointment. I'll get back to you, Imelda. So we're looking for proof. We want to know, first of all, who, and then we'd like to know why they've come. So, we want to know who they are and why they've come, and what is their message, what do they want to communicate to the sitter. So a medium has got to find out who they are, why they've come, and something that proves that it's them. So they might say, well, I've got a tattoo on my right arm with an anchor on. And hi, Vanessa, thanks for coming on. And this really is about giving proof to the earth person that their loved one remains or goes on and is in a safe place and in a great place. So we want to know who they are. We want to know why they've come. We want to know what the message is, so that they've got to have a message. And sometimes it's not a message as much as answering the question for the person. So then the person may be the son or daughter or brother or sister or whatever the sitter is, may be saying, is it right for me to buy this business? Is it right for me to do this? Or is it okay if I get rid of all your clothes now, because now you've been past a while? It's almost like answering the question for the person who's gone on in the spirit world, without me knowing what the question is. I don't know what is going to be said, and no does any medium really. Sometimes the messages that we have to pass on are not very well received by some clients, some people that sit, and that's understandable. But I know a friend of mine who does a bit of mediumship as well, quite a bit of mediumship, and he just says, well, don't shoot the messenger, because at the end of the day, we are passing on a message, sometimes palatable, sometimes not palatable, sometimes we don't like what we hear. But the essence is to pass on the information without giving you as a medium, without, hi Sandra B, how are you? And it's about the essence of giving them correct message as it is portrayed. Now, some messages are a little bit, mediums can adapt slightly the message so it's more palatable, said in a way which is less confrontational or less direct or less yeah, less to the point. You know, we can be a little bit diplomatic with the way we present it, and that's absolutely the way it should be as well. So we should know, and we ought to appreciate how we present the information back. We can say that the spirit, your father, was very, very direct, very aggressive, very strict, very this. But with the message that he passes on, we've got to try and give that without being strict. Often you'll find, I certainly will find, that I'm taking on the way somebody would say something. Hi, Yvonne C. Often we'll get to talk the way that the father did, or the mother did, or the brother did, and very often they will show us in a way that is quite familiar to me when the person passed into the spirit, how they passed. For example, the people that choose their own demise, I don't like the word suicide. We're all spirit coming onto the earth, and we all return to the spirit world, is my belief. So we're spirit people living a human existence, and while we're here, we live here under those criteria, but we are all spirit people. So when we pass, we just return back into the spirit world. And sometimes the person that live in the human existence can be the person who decides to return. But that's not wrong, that's not bad. He's returning back to whence he came, or she came. So, but I would always refer to the person chose his own demise or her demise. They chose how, when it was their time to return. And often I would just see them stand there with their head bowed. And they won't speak. They won't speak. They won't say anything. They won't communicate. Almost the way we would understand somebody who is sad or feels guilty or ashamed of what they did. But that's not the true person, because once you open that up, and once you get that communication line open between the person, the sitter, and the spirit, that person who started off like that and doesn't say anything is just showing me that's the way they pass. So it's our job as mediums to give accurate information, or as accurate as we can get. Sometimes possible, sometimes not possible. Sometimes they want to chat, and sometimes they don't. So there's no guarantees with it. You have to be in what we call an altered state of consciousness in order to get these messages. So you can't just come off from the shopping in Tesco and sit down and prepare for a medium reading. It has to be, hello cousin Diane, how are you? That's my cousin from England, Diane Hawkes. Welcome, thank you. And when we do mediumship readings, and when we connect our ones, I tell you, your mother is very strong around you at the moment, Diane. When we connect, when we feel the essence of the person coming forward, we can say what it is. But you can't just, oh yeah, I'll do a reading in half an hour. You have to be in that altered state of consciousness in order to receive the message. What I mean by that is, I'll explain. When we're like we are now, we've got our hearing, our sight, our smell, all our senses are around us. A touch, a taste, time, space, we know what's happening. We're in a beta level of mindset. So our brain is out of conscious level. We know that our brain is beating at 21 beats per second. And when we slow down, when we get tired at the end of the day, we drop to 14 beats per second. And it's actually, we drop to an alpha level between 14 and 7. Now, this is an inner conscious level. And at this level, we're in a subjective world. That is, we are not in a world of reality. We're in a no time, there's no space, there's no locality. We're just sort of that stage where just before you go to bed, just before you go to sleep, you're actually just drifting off and your mind is drifting away with you. Then at 7 beats per second, you are reaching a basic plane level. But through 14 to 7, you are able to work at the alpha level. And that's the level that the spirit world is able to connect with you. That's what creates the dreams. That's what creates the thoughts when we're in our sleep. So it's at that level that a medium needs to connect with the spirit world, and when they are coming, even though it's during the day. Why do people use tools? Tools, but let me just talk about tools. Cards, for example. A lot of angel cards, tarot cards, which is the old original way of concentrate. And some people use crystal ball, some people use runes, some people use tea leaves. They read the tea leaves. Been doing that for hundreds of years. And what is happening is all you're doing is you're bringing your awareness down and focusing on that crystal ball, or focusing on that card, or focusing on the tarot, or focusing on runes, or whatever it is. Often a medium will ask for an item that belongs to the person who they're trying to connect with. By holding a piece of jewelry, a watch, or a ring, or a pair of earrings, or a pipe, something that was owned by the person who they are trying to connect with. I use this quite often. I find that it's very useful. It makes it for a clearer connection between the person in the spirit world and the person who's sitting. And by holding, hi Chloe, how are you? By holding this piece of jewelry, it enhances the connection between the spirit person and the sitter. It's a term called psychometry, and it's used quite often by a lot of mediums. So they'll hold a scarf, or they'll hold an item that only belongs to that person, and the energy that that piece of jewelry or item holds will come stronger. So this is particularly useful if you're doing readings for somebody, or a mediumship reading for somebody who hasn't been long over in the spirit world. So if it's somebody who's only passed within the last year, 18 months, 15 months, that's a very short period of time. And so it strengthens the connection when you're holding that piece of that item that belonged to that person. So that's a useful tool, and one that I use quite often for mediumship readings. What is mediumship? Well, that's what it is. It's a communication between the spirit world and the earth world. How do you go about it? Well, as I said to you earlier, it's the physical, the mental, and there's also trance mediumship. A good friend of mine, John is a very good trance medium. What happens there is he's in such a deep state of altered state of his consciousness that the spirit can come and overlay him, can actually sit in his energy, and he can take on the persona and the actions of the person who he is trying to convey at the reading, at the mediumship communication. So he actually would take on the sound of the voice, he would take the actions of the person. And I know dear John does a very good, he's a very strong spirit guide that works with him from Dublin, and he straight away goes into a Dublin accent and emulates and copies the actions of this of his spirit that he is working with in a trance way. So trance is not to be feared or worried about. Some people are very good at it. Other people, it's not something I would use all the time, but John is particularly good at using that. So why do we become a medium? Why do we do this? What I mean, first of all, we've got to believe that there's a life after this one. Secondly, I believe that we have a calling to do it. I believe it's possible for everybody to do it, but if you log in tomorrow at 2 o'clock, I'll be sitting telling you about, can anybody be a medium? That's the subject of the chat tomorrow. And that's a very significant day because it's 21/3/21. So you can do it backwards or frontwards, but it's the same day either way. So tomorrow is about, can anybody become a medium? My belief is yes, you can. Do they? No, they don't. How do you go about it? Tune in tomorrow at 2 o'clock and I'll tell you. Well, I won't tell you, but I'll give you my take on it. I'll give you the take that how to go connecting with your spirit worlds, even if you don't want to do it. And by the way, if you want to do it as a job, as a life purpose, work, I can tell you won't make a lot of money out there. So if you want to make money, there's very few mediums that make money out of it. So if you're in it for money, for gain, you probably won't make a lot of money. It's about serving humanity, for me anyway, and it's about a calling. You sort of, it's almost like, well, I've got to do this because I feel right to do this. Not, it's the messages from me. It's not my ego. It's nothing to do with me. It's just that I feel that sometimes we have to help humanity. So more about that tomorrow, and how you can go about doing it, and getting that connection. So that's what a medium should be doing, and I believe most of them do. If you're trying to make it up as you go along, I think you'll soon find that it's not going to be, it's not going to work. But that's what a medium does. So, any questions? Anybody got any questions for me? No questions. All very quiet. Nobody's typing any questions. No, I probably can't hear anything. Mediums are not necessarily good at the internet, by the way. I'll tell you that much. And technology. But tomorrow I'll be talking about how the question is, can anyone become a medium? It is possible, I think, to connect at that level of consciousness where you'll get the messages that you want for yourself. And sometimes we want guidance, so that can come from a whole range of angelic spirit guides showing us how to move in a certain direction, whether it's relationships, whether it's to do with work, whether it's to do with do I have another child? Not. These are all questions that sometimes it's nice to tune in. Hiya, Brian. How are you? Brian Power there, he's just come on. Has the same birthday as me, but a long way away from mine anyway. Good to see you up and around, Brian. I've watched one or two of your things. Now, Brian's another fabulous medium reader, Claude, and he's great to be with. I could recommend him. So Brian's one of our good guys. So that's about it. That's what a medium what mediumship is, it's simple enough, really. It's the connection between the spirit world and the earth world. And sometimes it's just nice to get that confirmation that our loved ones go on beyond this life, in a way that is in a way that is real, but very different from the way that we live the earth life. Yeah, I'm good, Chloe. Thanks for asking. You must be Chloe is a hairdresser, and she must be on the government's payroll for the last God knows how long. Actually, I could do with you, Chloe, giving me a haircut. If you do any, the trouble is it'd be, I can't even get to Mullingar where she is, with the 5 kilometre restrictions. But this is an ideal time to sit in space. Everybody's got a little bit more time on their hands, and it's, as I said to you, when your mind has to drop down to that level of consciousness, it's where we're all slowing down. So in a sense, when we're all in lockdown as we are at the moment, it's a good time to sit in that energy and sit silently. Not forgetting, of course, when you sit in silence, you are able to listen a lot easier, because listen and silent have the same letters. So that's it for today. I don't think I have. If you want a reading, by the way, from me, I'm available most days of the week because I don't do anything else. It's €50 for reading. You allow 45 minutes. It will be a psychic reading, which is part of it, or it can be pure talking about somebody who went into the spirit world. Angel cards is what I would use. Yeah, and I'm available 087 2900 639. Happy to do readings whenever asked or called upon to do so. That's the way I work. And we can do it through Zoom, or through WhatsApp, or through Skype, or through Facebook Messenger. Any of those mediums ways of connecting are available to you, and you just transfer the money or whatever. But anyway, the money's not the important thing. Important thing is, if you need a reading and you want to sit, hello Mel Lowry, if you need to sit and you need to find out that something's troubling you or some challenge, that's what the spirit world, or the guides that we are connecting with, what we're trying to do is, yeah, it's 50, yeah. And you will need, Kate, somebody's just asking a question here. Kate, you need to allow 45 minutes for the reading. So, yeah, as I say, whatever it is that you have questions about, that's what the spirit world are very good at, trying to help us, guide us, and steer us. They won't control your life. They won't say you've got to do this and you've got to do that. And when you are connecting with the spirit world, you must do so in a way that is right for you. How can I say this? I was talking to a gentleman recently, in the last month or so, and he was saying that he can't get any sleep, and there's activity around him at night time, and he's trying to fall in. He's falling asleep at work during the day. You have to be able to control the connection to your to what you need. So you have to be able to control it within your. I mean, they'll come to me in the past, and quite often at the end of the bed, 20 past 3 in the morning. Hi, yeah. And I'm saying, well, I don't know who you are, but maybe you've come to talk to the person I'm going to talk to tomorrow. But if that's the case, would you be so kind as to come back tomorrow rather than at 20 past 3 in the morning? because I need my rest. I'm a human, so I'm not a spirit person. I don't work 24/7. So I need to have my rest in order that I can then do the best job for the readings for the next day. So readings practically every day via the internet at the moment. Yeah, happy to do them. And when it's right, when you feel the urge, when you feel the need to have a sit-in, a reading, you will be able to connect with whoever it is that you're supposed to be connected with. So if it's me, fine. If it's Helen Starr or Yvonne Coslow, there's so many of us there, and they're all very good, by the way. So I would just say to you, you just know who you're going to sit with when it is the right time. The universe will bring the situation together for you, but go by your intuition, go by your thoughts. Always go by your thoughts. So that's me for today. I hope you have a great day. Tomorrow I'm talking about, can anybody be a medium, which is more about how you go about doing it, or how you can connect, or what needs to be done when you're inquiring about your life or the life of somebody who's passed into the spirit world. Happy for questions. If you go onto my Psychic Henry page, then I can answer them back. I don't do readings on email, but I need to sit with people really. So thank you for coming on, everybody, and thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoy the rest of Saturday, and I hope that you have a great life. All right. Thanks very much indeed. All right. Thanks, Jill. Will do. And thank you, everybody, for coming on. Bye-bye.